say that I did isn't good enough reason for me, I think.
No, I don't know. I think ever since I saw a Will Smith video, and he was like, "Yo, you need to, if you don't want to go skydiving, you need to go skydiving because you know what I mean. It'll be it'll be epiphanous. You know what I mean. You will receive a major benefit from doing such a life-altering thing." And I think I agree with that. Jumping out of a plane at a 5-digit height sounds fucking crazy until you do it, and then it's like, bro, I jumped and I fell and I saw some insane shit that I can still see in my mind, and I landed and I'm safe. There's even been one dude who jumped out of a plane and lived without a parachute. Not accidentally. He did it on purpose. He was yeah.
No way.
No, for sure. It was like some Red Bull contest or something. The guy planned a spot he was going to land, and he jumped out of a plane with
safe.
no shit. Well, it wasn't safe, but he understood the physics of the concept. Someone who's skydived probably 150 times isn't worried about doing it once after he's lived 149 times prior. Parachutes have succeeded every time. So, and he had other people filming him from every angle. So God forbid it really didn't work. I mean, he could have, if he wanted to back out, he had the whole opportunity until non-parachute pulling range, but he lived like he did it and lived. So like to say that it's unjustified is
did he like, oh fuck, I just died. Close. did he like land on like a soft bag or something, like in the water?
He landed on something like that. But nonetheless, he jumped out with no chute. He didn't abandon it when he knew he was safe. He jumped out with no chute, and on film.
I want to see that.
Yeah, there's only one dude. It won't be hard to find. He broke a world record too. But it just is super fucking insane. I don't know why Red Bull comes to mind when I think about it, but it certainly makes me think of it as that sort of contest. But so what's on the top of your bucket list for a skillful thing? Like, what do you think?
Bucket list, skillful thing.
Like, maybe not even skillful. Skillful is the wrong adjective, but like in the sense of, in your mind, yeah, like what's your nirvana as far as a skill? Not even skill, you know what I mean? But just like in general. Like to me, mine's being able to just be, complacent with who I am at every moment, working as hard as I can to understand all the facets of my imagination and the world and be happy with what I think I see,
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll give you the stupid question, but maybe it's the question you need to answer it correctly. What is your purpose in life?
Oh, my purpose in life? My purpose
that's
in life
all
is to get a girlfriend at the moment. That's what my purpose is. That's honestly it. Other than that, I'm trying to exist.
That's not unattainable though, bro. Like you're not unattractive, and you got.
Oh no, I know. I know it.
Like I'm sure you'll be able to.
I've dated girls.
Goal.
I've had dates and flings and long-term, short-term, whatever. But I just need another girlfriend because my mental isn't that great. So existing is a struggle, just purely existing in itself. But if like whatever the hierarchy of needs, right? Once those are obtained, I think the next thing is just my purpose in life is just to obtain as much knowledge as I can, see how technology progresses, how medicine progresses, see if I can experience augmented reality, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology.
You mean be killed by all of the above?
Why not? I can't stop it.
Like a bad Black Mirror episode?
What's Black Mirror?
You've never seen Black Mirror?
No.
You're not being facetious?
No.
Dude, there's a Netflix show called Black Mirror, and there's 12 episodes, and the entire show's point was to be as controversially out there as they could be in a paradigm sense. And so every episode is about like some futuristic concept and like every show is just basically 80% of an episode, then there's a huge twist, and then you're like, whoa, and you like it makes you really step back from your own life. But like every single episode of it You know what I mean? One is about these people who live in a society where all they do is ride a bicycle and stare at a TV screen, where the currency they make is based on how fast, and how hard they ride the bicycle. And they spend
Ooh.
that on what they want. And if you earn 1,000,000 or 10 million credits, you can buy a contest to the show where it's like American Idol, but in this world, and then get off the bicycle to go be a celebrity. But it's like the whole world is just on bicycles to, and they don't tell you, but basically the concept is to like support the world, I think. But, and just every episode is super mentally controversial. Like, you could right now, I fucking promise you, go to Netflix and watch any of the Black Mirror episodes, and you would understand what I'm talking about, because everyone holds the same paradigm of what the fuck, my mind hurts. Like, dude, you hit that on the nail so good for what it hits the nail on the head. One of them is about a world in which you can have your occipital lobes and anterior calcarine and hippocampus all mapped, with this ability to record everything you've ever seen. And so you have this little remote, and you can just rewind everything you've ever seen and replay it and replay it. And if you really don't want it, you can delete it. And then there's people in the world who don't have it, and they're looked at like, whoa, that's weird, and you're cool. And then there's other people who do, and they get in constant fights with other people about the past because you can fucking prove it. Like, whenever you've wanted to talk to someone and be like, if I had a camera. Like, imagine that. Imagine every moment you've had in your whole life you truly had verified proof. Let me show you. I'll Bluetooth it. Bink AirPlay, TV. Watch my fucking
awesome.
eyes. It was so fucking cool. But then it showed you the contrast and the pain, like how a girlfriend and a boyfriend would fight over intimacy, and if one cheated, that the other would have to watch them literally fuck someone else, like through their own eyes. And that lying is.
Why would they need to do that?
It's not about a need, though. Like, if you're being cheated on, you need to verify whether or not, you know what I mean, it's authentic. And in a world in which everything's recorded, verifying must be, you know what I mean? If you watch the episode, you can understand. I'm not making up the story, but if you watch the episode, you'd be like, oh my god,
sounds rough.
It's super fucking rough, dude. The guy's life falls apart, but it comes down to a point where, like, he loses his mind because of the things he can find out about the past. Like, I'm, accept and forget, be like water, just become the shape of what size bottle you're in, or what size space you're in. But in a world in which everything's recorded, you don't get to have that ambiguity. You have to be this, you have to be that. And
was the premise or the how were they saying that it was like a bad thing to like have a society where things would be recorded?
No, the whole world had it. It was a good thing to have that. It was a bad thing to not have that in this world.
And was that like I mean, I know a show can say, it can give the impression that something is good within the show, but like looking at it from outside, like how did that feel morally? Were people like happy having that?
Well, because there was positive aspects. Oh my god, look at what my boss said. It was so funny. And then they show you, oh my god, look at Stacy fucked up with Nancy, and Joseph got promoted. You know what I mean? Like it was.
What the fuck?
It was really cool in some aspects, but then you saw the diametric opposite of those aspects, and it was like, oh fuck, like I don't want to, like, I've been in situations before where I wanted to know the answer to something. And imagine the answer to something being that of which you get to watch. I don't get to be told the answer through you. I get to watch the true thing unadulterated through your memory. Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Elon Musk Neuralink. You know what I mean? It's like, we're going to drill a hole in your head, and we're going to give you some superpowers to make you, you know what I mean, bionic. And what's that word for symbiotic? Like, have a symbiosis between robots and being, like, our parents didn't know what it was like to hold the world in their palm. Most of our parents are just super detrimentally fucked up because the fact that when they were a kid they didn't get the internet, and now, dude, like 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds are so happy. Do you know how many lonely 40 and 50-year-olds there are who have the internet, and it's like, boom, another 50-year-old who knows everything about the world that I know. Life is great. Like 20-year-olds are picky. I, you know, I was at the bar tonight by myself watching Culture, and literally, dude, there was so many couples who were together who you would never think they'd be together, but it was like, oh, they're the same age, and like, even though she was annoyed he was talking about hockey, and he was annoyed she was not wanting to talk about hockey, they make it work, you know, and it's like, it's different than being 20 some odd shit, you know. I don't know. The world
Yeah.
is a fucking melting pot of just blessings, bro.
I don't know. It always comes with some problems.
Well,
Here I
to
am.
have a blessing, my friend, equals the world in which the opposite exists. And for the opposite of a blessing to exist, I would pour wine all over my phone. That's not how the saying went, but I just poured wine all over my phone.
Oh no.
I was opening a wine bottle, and right when the cork came out, I have a different corkscrew than I normally have. The old one I had, when the cork came out, it was still on top of the bottle. This one, when the cork comes out, the bottle it separates from the corkscrew, and so it slipped in my hand, and I spilt wine on my phone. It's a good thing I love wine.
Hope your phone's fine.
Oh, it's yeah. I have an iPhone 10. It's like $300. If I need a new one, it's practically disposable. But yeah, man. I don't know. Life's super cool, man. Like, are you solo on this adventure at this point? Like, do you live with parents? Are you solo?
Oh, I'm solo as it gets.
Solo as it gets, bro. I dig it. Any regrets as far as 24 years in this world?
Any regrets? Yeah, not ending my life when I was 18 like I planned. That's my biggest regret.
Amen. I was at that at 15 and all the way up until 18 and even further. Not that it's a contest, just like, yeah, I'm with you. I sympathize heavily.
Yeah. 15 was my favorite age. It was like the best age of my life. Did so much things.
I don't know. I think the best ages of my life, I was a super drug addict.
Yeah, same. I mean, that's when I was exploring all that stuff and trying things.
It's the concept of the high. It's not the high. It's just the concept of it. You know, because like being high itself is great, but the you know, to have like that's where I learned philosophy. To have the high, you must inherit the low after. And it's like, that is where the pain in lies, you know, and no one ever told you to get 10 out of 10 happiness, you'll get 20 out of 20 pain after. And it's like, woof, that might be a statistic I might want to avoid in the future, you know. If a gambling man ever tells me, I'll give you 5 aces, but you're going to give me 35 pairs after. And it's like, woof, you keep it all. I'll stick being average Tim, you know, but I don't know, man. So many people have no view on life outside of living it, you know. I think that's like blink, 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 you know, game finished. But is that wrong? Like, do you need to think and think about everything? I do, and it's super irritating because like I can't not thinking about everything. But
I see a lot of people existing. I'm definitely existing in my own way, but like, I guess my choice of existing and coping with life is video games, and I guess I have a negative judgment on people who I don't know, smoke or do drugs, because I see it so often and I feel bad for them. They seem really lonely, but like, who am I to judge them the same way? But it's just like, fuck, man, so many people just coping with life. It's just especially on Discord. I don't know what it's like elsewhere.
right.
Really don't.
What's the main Discord you kick it in?
I've been banned from all my favorite ones, or I've left.
Why have you
my
been
all-time
banned? You're not
favorite
even remotely toxic.
one.
Or are you? I just haven't seen it.
Trauma, like I have like a thing I struggle with that's very controversial, and people just don't want to deal with it. It's like, yeah.
What's
it's
so
hard to explain, I
controversial
guess.
Discord can't deal with it? They have 12-year-olds screaming the N-word all day. What's more controversial than that in a short sentence?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to discuss it.
No, you
It's
know, you
just-
don't have to, and I'm not asking you. I just mean
Yeah.
in the context, like, No, and that's a thing I don't have
Yeah,
to, I don't know. I'm super controversial, but I don't have to deal with that, I've had
yeah.
times where I brought up something and someone was like, nope, and it's like, okay, bro.
It's like, imagine the world is vegan, right? And I'm just over here, and I just kind of like, I'm over here like eating my like Chipotle, and there's like steak in it, and they're like, "Oh my god, like what the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" Like, I'm just eating. Like, you eat, I eat, everyone eats. And they're like, "No, dude, we can't have that." And like, you're gonna cause too much trouble. Like, people are gonna like people have a bunch of questions and they start like insulting you. It's like, "Oh my god, you're a meat eater, you're a cannibal." Like, I didn't do anything wrong, and they know I didn't do anything wrong, but they just like categorize me as like a cannibal because I eat meat, right? So that's a metaphor, I guess, for the best way to explain it. Just because uh, some people just, because it comes with a lot of stigma and a lot of drama, people just don't want to deal with it, right? It's like, would you rather ban one person for eating meat or 600 vegans for getting upset about them? And like, even though the guy eating meat didn't do anything wrong, it's just much simpler to ban him, right?
Okay, I
Rather
get what you're
than
saying.
manage the 600 people, and it's just fucking annoying because it's unfair.
I get what you're saying when it comes to that. That makes sense for sure. Um, I deal with that a lot, but I don't know. I relate to everyone on a super subtle level, so I don't usually have a giant problem when it comes to relating on a super deep level with a stranger. Like I look for the most vague connection when it comes to all coworkers and all intents and purposes of life, except when it comes to like a bestie or, in this instance, a podcast guy who I'm going to speak to for X amount of minutes. And it's reserved for moments. Like the moments in which it's not reserved, I'm not discussing the inner facets of what I believe to be important. I might even juxtapose what I really believe just to avoid a contentious conversation at work, because my only goal at work is to do the job and get paid. I don't plan on getting in fights. So
Yeah.
I might tell Steve I'm a Republican, and I might tell Joe I'm a Democrat, and I might tell Stacy I'm a libertarian, and you know what I mean, Lorenzo I'm conservative. Frankly, I give a fuck less, because I'm not going to remember that, and I'll tell them all the wrong thing next week, and they'll all be like, what the fuck, you changed? And I'll be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm tired, haha, lol. Like I just want to do my fucking job. I don't care. Like, I love that people are
Gotcha.
different, but some people are so heavy-handed, heavy-pedaled when it comes to everything, that it's like, oh my fucking god, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go to 10 on a normal vocal scale. Like right now, if this is a 3 out of 10, I'm not going to jump to a 7 ever. There's nothing you could bring up that would be like, oh my god, how dare you, And it's so to meet someone as a person who, like, in regular conversation just jumps wildly from like, oh well, this, and then blah 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 blah, blah and this, and blah 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 blah, it's like, Jesus Christ, like the definition of ADD don't keep up with you, Holmes. And I don't know, I just feel like that exists way too much. I try to give someone advice and they give me 300 words in fucking 3 minutes, and it's like, okay, yikes, you should do this. And then it's like, well, no, now I'm the enemy because I said what I believe, even though what I believe is not what they want. I don't know. I've accepted so many platitudes that, like, I feel like I'm Swami Salami. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So, like, there's lots of people who may understand what you think, but if they can't practice it, don't try to pick up their hand and walk them there. It's not gonna work. You're gonna end up stabbed and killed like Socrates. It's not gonna work. Don't be the king of what you think. Just be the king of what you think in your mind and act like Silent Joe in public. I don't know. I would love to for everyone to be equal, but the life wouldn't be fun then. Like going out and eating, dinner by myself tonight. I'm sitting there, I'm watching tons of people just bullshit, strangers, and this and that and this and that, and I loved it. Like, everyone is in their own world, and I'm in my own world because I'm experiencing everyone, and it's COVID, and I'm super happy to be out. It's the first time I've went out, honestly, like in a restaurant, ever
Mm,
alone, and so it was
mm.
just it was exhilarating. I got a lot out of it, man. It was very beneficial for me, and I don't know, man.
I,
This whole staying inside thing is just pretty fucked up,
I need to change the battery 1 sec.
for sure. Got them batteries. I got a cord. Y'all can see it. Wub wub.
Alright, I'm back.
What up? I was talking about having a cord, not batteries.
4 seconds and it's good to go.
4 seconds. Bada bang, bada boom.
No, but yeah, I feel you. I don't really say I remember. I captured the essence of what you meant with what you said initially. So I don't know if I can comment. Just not having a strong opinion, is that what you were saying? Just keeping it to yourself because it would just get heated. And you can't really sway someone if they're not open to it. Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yeah, more or less. I just, at work, I'm there to work. I'm not there to talk. So, when someone brings up something controversial, I go with the path of least resistance and then move on. Is basically
Gotcha.
the intent of what I'm going with there. But, yeah, I don't know, man. What hobbies do you have? What do you do? Like, do you, what's up with you these days? What do you do? Like, I work a 9 to 5, and then I do this in my spare time on the weekends. And I'm a father, and just my schedule is I'm looking for the 25th hour of the day every day. You know what I mean?
I guess I turned my hobby into a passion. I started streaming back in 2013. My main account got affiliate, but I didn't do like the tax questions they were asking because I was just too lazy. So that account got shadow banned. So I made a new one, and now this one is affiliate. I ran a clan, or like a guild, you can say, in a game called PlanetSide 2. They would be called outfits, and I got up to 200 players. I invited everyone from the ground up. I trained them, played every day. We had a organized squad play. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
But yeah, we had like organized events. We'd play together. I had guys who would train people how to play armor, I handpick people who would train people to train like my guys how to fly, how to do infantry combat. But yeah, that was really fun.
Do you play a lot of WoW?
Lately, yeah, that's what I've started playing.
I've thought about it, I really have, but playing it by myself would seem boring. Is that like if you hopped on WoW for the first time by yourself, how hard would it be to get into a group of however many people you need to run, co-op to have fun? Like, is it, is there a large barrier to entry to find people to do it with?
No. You can just get randomly invited to a guild, like a mass guild. And I think they're called guilds. Yeah, they're called guilds. And yeah, you can just random open guilds and invite people are just fine. But I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Certain guilds can have more of what you're looking for than others.
Okay.
You can definitely find one though.
How's your experience on Twitch? How are you doing on Twitch? Are you like profiting off it, or is it just something you do to work towards profiting off it? I mean, doing it since 2013,
My experience on Twitch is I live basically with what I put in. I am not faking my reactions, so I'm not getting viewers. I'm not talking all the time to keep people's attention. I'm not an entertainer. I don't feel like I want to be a clown juggling balloons or balls or whatever the fuck to entertain people to keep their attention. I just do it for myself. I do it to clip things. I do it so maybe someone will hop in here and there and have a discussion. That's it. I know I'm not going to get any views that way or any followers or any money, and I don't really give a fuck as long as I stick to doing it how I like doing it. That's fun for me. Maybe someone will see that I'm a genuine person and actually likes my content and they'll hang out. I had people like that, and I still have a person like that. They've been watching me since 2013. It's like one guy.
You guys
Just a
actually
homie.
friends by now?
Yeah, I mean, he tried to reach out, but like I said, I'm not in a good mental state, so I end up deleting my Discord servers, and I guess the connection probably has been lost. But yeah, he can still message me and reach back out if he wants. I still see him as like a homie.
Dude, I love Discord the way it works. It's like a kick with video for me. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we met on there. You know what I mean? Just bullshitting, jumping through chats, and it was like, "What's
Yep,
up?"
yep. Have you ever heard of Curse?
No.
No. Curse was I think Curse was the best thing ever before Discord. It was all link based, like 6 letters or characters.
Mm-hmm.
You just punch that in on your website, and then you'd have voice chat for any game you played with anybody. And it was primarily used for League of Legends. So you'd hop in a lobby, you'd send a Curse link, and boom, everyone's in the call.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I even once got in a ranked game. I sent the link in the alt chat when the game started, so I even had the enemies in the chat. So it'd be a 5v5 all in one call, and even the enemies would be in the call, would be like making fun of each other, like, "Yo, this guy's coming to gank you." So I was like, "Yo, shut the fuck up! I'm not doing shit." And I'm like, "Yo, run!" Oh man, that was such a blast.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm waiting for Halo Infinite to drop on Windows. That's a game I'm super fucking stoked for. I really want to play the next Halo. It sounds amazing to me. I'm really looking forward to Dying Light 2, which should have been out by now, but COVID has really fucked it in the ass. Dying Light 1 was an amazing game I played on console and at 1080p nonetheless. So now that I have a computer that can run some damn good shit, I cannot wait to try to play that. You know, it's just that it was a great zombie game. Endless things to do and a great storyline. It was just I don't know. I loved it personally. Like Dead Rising was just killing zombies and hitting accolades, but
from what I understand, that game probably was slowed because its whole premise was almost COVID related. And you don't want to make a game that's COVID related during COVID.
Yeah, the first game
but I'm
was
not sure.
The first game was a lot about a pandemic, so I don't doubt that. You know, it was a zombie pandemic that affected the whole world. You know, but like the Division didn't get affected. The Division was an amazing game. I love that game so much. I had the Division 1 and the Division 2. I bought twice once on PS4 and once on Xbox. I love that game, you know, and I might even, I don't know, I don't have a game I'm passionate about right now. I think I'm done with Call of Duty. I know everything about it. I love it. It's a brilliant game, but I just think I might be past that. You know what I mean? It might be not forever, but I'll give it fucking 5 or 6 years, and if with 15,000 hours under my belt, 5 or 6 years, I can't pick it up again, I'm truly just an asshole. So.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I don't have anything that I love right now. You know, RuneScape I love. I love RuneScape. Like even AFKing right now, like it just makes me happy. I'm working on stats that take fucking 13 million XP to max out. Like it's a truly time gratifying thing. Like someday I'll have 1 skill cape, and someday I'll have 20 skill capes, and someday I'll have a max cape, and then the max cape I'll mix with the Inferno cape, and I'll have a max Inferno cape, and then I'll be like dope as fuck, and then I'll have all the quests done and all the achievement diaries done, and I'll be, you know, by the time I have all that done, if they haven't updated tons of stuff in the game to the point where I have more to do, which they will, because they make lots of money off it, then, you know, I'll switch to RS3 or RS4 if that exists, you know, and I play RS3 too. I would play them simultaneously and AFK both of them, but I was a dildo and made both of them the same primary email, and it won't let me change it on either of them. So I can't, I literally, like, I'm stuck with having to, you know, and I might continue trying to do that, because I would really love to be able to AFK wood cutting and fishing, because fishing is so easy to do. Click, click, wood cutting, click, click, you know, but...
My experience with with RuneScape. I started playing in like when I was in 6th grade, when I was 10, and I played with my church friends when I was 11, 12. We would like compete with who can make the most gold, who can have the coolest armor. We'd have like trimmed armor and shit because we were free to play.
Oh yeah.
And then some friends had cousins who were members, and like I was like, oh, that's tight. But I never enjoyed membership. There were so many things to do. I really wanted to like what is it called? I really wanted to min max like free to play, but that was hard by itself. So I don't know what the point of going and becoming a member is if I can't even min max free to play.
Well, nowadays you can support your membership off in-game currency.
Yeah.
So as long as you can make 3 million GP a month, you can buy a membership. And with that 3 million GP a month, you can go to places that you can earn even more. And then as long as your ROI is higher than 3, you have a profit and a membership. You know, and to me, honestly, $6 a month isn't breaking the fucking bank. You know what I mean? I mean, that's an hour of me working in the real world to have RuneScape for 30 days. Like, so if you can't pay for a RuneScape membership, you frankly shouldn't be talking to me on any platform ever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just period. So if you can afford a phone as a one-time purchase, that's a lifetime worth of RuneScape.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't. There was something about like not wanting to go into membership when I couldn't complete everything to like a dime. Like I'm a perfectionist, so I feel like hitting the subscribe button is just like, congratulations, you're now nowhere near close to anything. Like you just fucked yourself. I'm like, I'd rather be good at something and progressively work towards something I can actually obtain, and to fuck myself by accepting a challenge I'll never like succeed at. And like having a main became completely something I wasn't interested in, because that's just like stupid as fuck. Like because that's just gonna take like forever. Like the best way to be competitive in like duels or PvP on a main is just to max everything 99 and all your combat skills, or build a PvP. Like the shortcut of that is just build a PvP account with like an AGS spec or Void Ranger spec or Declaw Rush or but that's just like so much time investment where it's like I could have just as much fun playing a free-to-play account, switching gears, maging, and switching gears to range 2H finish, or just range 2H, which is hella fun all by itself, in my opinion. I could talk about that for a while.
No, I'm with you, man. I fucking love RuneScape. I really do. I just love that it's so engaging to me, and that, you know, if I want to go do nothing but click and just watch Impractical Jokers while I play, then I can do that. Or if I want to go be super fucking engaged and do a quest line and learn about why Henrietta doesn't like fucking Henriotto, you know, then bada bing, bada boom.
True, yeah.
I played Nightmare Zone for so long, bro. I had 13 million points for Nightmare Zone, and I haven't played in the Nightmare Zone for months, and I still have 7 million. I buy the daily Nightmare Zone boxes every day, make bank off it.
I don't know what Nightmare Zone is.
So it's like this cool thing where like every quest you've ever beaten gives you a boss, and said boss is in the Nightmare Zone, and you can choose to fight the bosses over and over and over, and it's really interesting. But yeah, so it's a great thing for AFK. If you get a bunch of the best armor, you can just basically sit there and like, I've got it to a point where I can click once per 7 minutes. So
damn,
I can do it at work. You know what I mean? Like once per 7 minutes I can hit my phone. And if I fail, there's no deficit. You don't actually lose anything. It's a completely safe activity. Really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love it, you know. I would love WoW, but it's like, you know, anything I do is going to take away from RuneScape / take away from more free time I have, and it's, you know, I don't know what else to invest in. Like, I love RuneScape. I like things that look cool, but if I get bored of RuneLite playing old school like I'm playing right now, I just switch to RS3 and play the 3D version of the same thing, and it's like, oh, look, I can play this in 4K. You know? Are you playing 4K?
You mean RuneScape? Like RuneScape 3?
No, no. In general, just whatever you're playing. Are you playing in
Oh,
4K?
oh, oh, no. I have a 1080p 244 hertz.
Okay, so
Or
you,
280 hertz? Or 244, I'm not sure.
it's 44. 280 doesn't exist.
Yeah, 244. Yeah.
Overclock 280s could exist, but yeah, I have a 144 2K that I play with, and I can overclock to 165. But most of my programs don't allow that high of a swap, so it's just stuck at 144. I'd love 4K. I think my processor could handle it, but I just that fucking $700 for a monitor. It's like, oh my god, dude, that's a commitment.
I just got an ad recently for it was like on my YouTube after a video from like an Amazon sponsored laptop that had a 360 hertz
Wow.
display with a 3070.
Jeez.
Yeah, and only for $2,500 with like a i10 processor. That's pretty insane, I think.
Yeah. No, that's a good price
Unreal.
too. For what you get, that's certainly a deal. You know,
I can't believe you played COD and you only experienced 144. That's I think you're missing out, man.
144 at 2K is something special, my friend. Like
I don't know. I would give that up.
I can assure you, the difference between 1080p and 2K is 110%. The difference between 2K and 4K is 35%. Like it's a diminishing return on investment between 2K and 4K solely because of what my eyes can actually see. Like the difference between 1080p and 2K is revolutionary because when 1080p was made, that was, you know, revolutionary, and when 2K was made, that was it's double, you know, the concentration of basically what you see, and it's truly amazing. Like it's a whole difference. If you were to show an adult, here's this 3-minute video, and then show them the same video a week later, hey, watch this again, I updated it, and you showed them in 4K, you know, or 2K, I mean, they would be like, oh my fucking god, this is insane. Like this is, you know, it's so much more crisp. There's so much, you know, I can see the pimples on his face as opposed to just seeing his face, you know. But if you were to show him it at 4K, it's like, well, the fact that I can distinguish within a 32nd of an inch that it was a black pimple and not a dark blue pimple is a little whatever. Like, you know, it's just like, yeah, it is clearer, but it's, you know, and I learned this from other people, but still, I think 2K to 4K is not a jump. 2K to 8K will be holy fuck, but 1080 to 2K is not, oh my god, you know.
I think I would still throw my PC away or my monitor away if I had to pick between 240 hertz 240 hertz 240 hertz 180p or 2K. I would toss the 2K away.
I can imagine that
FPS.
what you look at is fucking super crisp. I mean, that many hertz, just, you know. I remember what it first looked like when I looked at 144. 144 was super crisp.
Yeah.
I loved it. So to think I could go higher would be amazing. But 2K gave me clarity. Like, I bet at 200 something hertz you have speed, but you definitely.
I'm just surprised because you play FPS games, and that's like the most important thing.
Do you know how much a 244 hertz 2K monitor would be? That would be as much as a 4K monitor at 144. Like, it would be the cost of an AR-15 that I could save my life with. You know what I mean? It would be the cost of a cheap turbo for my Impreza.
Yeah, it's a hard decision to make for sure.
You know, it's a lot of fucking money, man. For, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you play. It's like picking the resolution. It's like putting 30 FPS, 1080p on your stream instead of 720p, 60 FPS. When you gotta pick the 60 FPS if you're playing a fast-paced game. It just makes more sense. But I don't know. I think you should try it for sure if you ever get a chance to.
Let me look right now. I'm gonna go to Amazon while we're talking, and I'm gonna Google this. I'm gonna say $600 is the accurate price. So 244 hertz, 2K monitor. Let's see what the fucking price is here. I spelled monitor wrong, so that's not gonna come up. Let's see. is this 244? No, this is, so for 144 hertz, 2K, G-Sync IPS. Now IPS is the color monitor, not the speed monitor, so that wouldn't be fast in milliseconds. It would just be crisp color. Just for a 2K 144 is 500. So you know, I'm looking to see if see, I've got one right here that's a 2K that overclocks to 170. The one I have right now goes portrait and landscape, does vertical swivel, horizontal swivel, and can go overclock to 165. The problem is if I overclock it to 165, none of the programs I have are programmed to clock that. So even Call of Duty wouldn't do 165 because even though my monitor is set to that, it's not programmed for that. So I don't know. It's weird. The fact, so.
I only made my decision looking off of what the pros used, and a lot of the CS:GO players, etc. They all had 240 hertz. Some, I think, one had 360.
Okay. Holy shit! So
and they want to go low. They want to go low resolution because more FPS if you play on a low resolution.
So I've got one right here. The Omen. Omen is the brand. And it's a 240 hertz, 1 millisecond, a 2K monitor from AMD with for 590.
Ooh.
So that's
sounds sick.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty as fuck. All the ads are in French. So I don't know about that, but still, yeah, that's. So maybe if you get a deal, but the majority of monitors. So like, honestly, I don't know what's fucked up on Amazon because there's some shit that's not good. There's an Asus right here, 28-inch, 1 millisecond, 4K for $249. Like I just don't buy that. 28-inch, 4K, 244 for $300.
28 inches is really small, if I'm not mistaken.
28. As a professional Call of Duty player, 28 inches is huge. As a Call of Duty player, you do not want anything less than 24 or anything more than 27. You want 1 millisecond, 24 to 27 at whatever resolution, but you need at least 1 millisecond between 24 and 27. Anything higher than 27 inches or smaller than 24 has a diminishing return on speed.
What sucks about the 1 millisecond thing is that you never actually see the 1 millisecond.
You do, bro. As a semi-professional Call of Duty player, you do. It's the moment when you kill someone and they on their screen were around a corner, but they weren't because I killed them.
I think we had that discussion already, and I told you that it was about the server, and the millisecond was just how fast the resolution or the lights of on your pixels change colors. Because you never actually, why I say it is because there's so much other things that depend on your on how fast your pixels change color, like the game, how it updates, if there's any other programs or software that's like lagging your system. I mean, it's advertised 1 millisecond, but what you're actually seeing is usually between 3 to 6 to 7 to 8, maybe 12, if you're unlucky. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What I believe obviously may not be super accurate, but this is what I believe. And when I was learning how to play Call of Duty, the professionals said that, and I rolled with it ever since. And maybe it does nothing, but as a placebo, to not have a 1 millisecond, like if you were to Google what a professional Call of Duty player would have, a 1 millisecond monitor is on the list. And so like maybe I can't truly equivocate why it's important, but I'm aware that the people who are pros say it is. And so it's like me believing Einstein's equation is important because he says it is. It's like, I'm working on secondhand knowledge, but no, and I know you're not being contentious. I'm just, to me, that was
I wasn't arguing it isn't. It is a big thing. I was just saying that it sucks that you aren't actually getting the 1 millisecond when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Like I would run a program called MSI Afterburner, and I would track the on-screen frame time, and it would never be lower than 5 milliseconds. That's what the program says I'm getting. I would never get lower than 5. No 4, no 3, no 1.
Hey, so can we go into a super nerdy conversation?
Sure.
Not
About
that
what?
not that we haven't been in one. Um, so I built this PC in February 2020 when I had a different job and a different life and a different outcome. And so I'm curious if I were to want to change my CPU and maybe go SLI on the GPU world so I could run 4K on one monitor and 2K independent on a second monitor and not have to worry about getting frazzled with a lot of programs because they're running separately. Um, I'm just curious, what is entailed in changing a CPU? That's one thing I could learn from YouTube, but don't know. Is it as simple as removing my CPU and putting in a new one, or whoa, does where does my CPU come into play? Like, does that
Um,
Because I had to have my CPU in to download Windows, but I've never had it out since Windows is downloaded. So does my memory change when you change your CPU, or do you just reload up and go into the BIOS and change something real quick, or do you not know?
I think everything is automatic as long as your motherboard
Can
physically
support it.
takes. Yeah. And then the hardest part about it is honestly thermal paste. I once got thermal paste in my memory, and that fucked one of my
Uh,
memory slots.
I don't
I think.
consider that hard, but I was an electrician apprentice for 3 years, so
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
very aware of everything. That's why when you look at this PC, if I were to show you behind it, bro, the wires are done so professionally. There's 65
Sheesh.
individually addressable RGBs in this. I'm running 3 fans, a 240 millimeter radiator, and fucking a GPU support bracket, and every single wire in the entire case is nestled out of view. So I spent a very long time working on it. You know what I mean? I still have so many open
Let's go.
headers on my motherboard that it's ridiculous. I have to Google new shit all the time. Like, what's this header doing? I might throw in some
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
more RAM just for fuck's sake because it's so cheap comparatively for what I do a lot of stuff and I don't think I'm maxing out 32 gigs anyways. But it's like I got 2 sticks and I can fit 4, so. I'm just thinking about like I would like some increased performance. I've had a few diminishing returns on things when I got Zoom open. I'm streaming to YouTube, Facebook, fucking Twitch. I'm also
Yep.
AFKing RuneScape. I'm on Discord talking to a bitch with a
Oh
fat
yeah.
ass. Like, you know what I mean? I've got so many things going on at one moment that like I'm reaching the peak of what my PC can do, and that's with an i7 99K and a 2070 Super. So I'm just and at the same time I'm super happy with it. Like, I can render a fucking 2K video file of 2 hours in like fucking 40 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like woo, and that's
Yeah.
while I'm watching Impractical Jokers and AFK RuneScape. I've never actually just let it sit there because I'm always sitting at my PC while it's rendering when we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I might want to jump up to the mat. Yeah, I have a. Well, let me Google this real quick. I'm curious. Z390 Aorus Ultra Max CPU.
The Z390, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have a similar one.
Supports
should
8th
support
and
it.
9th Gen Intel Core processors. So 9th Gen.
Yeah.
So what's the best 9th Gen processor?
i9 9900K.
Okay. So I
Or
could.
yeah, that's one I have, I think.
That's what you have?
Yeah.
Damn, that's special.
I can send you my spec sheet. So much.
Supports i9 and i7. CPU support list for more information. Where is the CPU support list?
DM of all my Garbo. Yeah, ICP would definitely do you good. I wanted to say something, but I completely blanked on what it was.
Yeah, so it looks like it can take all. It says refer to CPU support list for more information, but it doesn't have the CPU support list viewable, which is kind of fucking irritating. um, Intel 9th gen. So yeah, so Intel Core i9 99K is the best one for
If I'm
9th
not
gen.
mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's only $430. And so that wouldn't change anything. I can literally unscrew these 4 screws on my radiator, pop my CPU out, slap the new one in, thermal paste it, slap this bitch back on, and that's it. And then it turns on fine.
Your BIOS should read it right away, and if it doesn't, I'm not sure
You might
why.
have to
You may
change
have
it
to
in
like
the BIOS, but even still, like, that's it, really?
need to reset your BIOS. Worst case scenario. But yeah, there shouldn't be a problem. Everything should be automatically detected and work by itself without your input.
Yeah, the difference between an i7 9000 or 99K, whatever I have, 9 something, and a 9th gen must be much better, huh?
Yeah.
Now,
It's
what do you
pretty.
think? Do you think I should go up to a 30 series if I could get my hands on one? Or do you think I should go... I think I should go SLI. I'll get another 2070 Super, and I'll run two 2070 Supers. One will independently run a 4K monitor, and one will independently run a 2K monitor. And then that way, the one that's only running the 2K will also run all the processes that, you know, have to support graphics of streaming and that sort of things. I'll put all the load on the 2K one as opposed to the 4K one.
If you're gonna be streaming, I would just get like a 1080 or a 1070, and like keep your i7 and build a PC with that. Even get a used one instead of getting 2 SLIs. Like honestly, the only thing I would suggest 2
So
SLIs
how do you
for,
run 2 PCs together? I don't understand the concept of that.
like with a capture card for if you're gonna be streaming, so that way your streaming is independent of your gaming. Because unless you're gonna be gaming at 4K or above,
Well, that's
and your other
so let's
monitor is 2K, 2K, 2K,
uh-huh.
and then there's actually 2 programs running at the same time. Like if you're playing 2 versions of Call of Duty and you need no buffers between the 2 versions when you alt tab because you're playing both windows but borderless, then I would say SLI. If you can assign each game to their own graphics card, and then like actually yeah, because most games don't support SLI anyway, so I would just not recommend SLI. I don't see the application for it unless you have a specific application that you're going to be spending like 1,000 to 3 hours.
My understanding of SLI was it was just double the power. Like you were able to differentiate power between your monitors. So like I would be able to run, like right now, if I were to run Impractical Jokers on HBO at 4K and run you and me on a Zoom call on this monitor half screen and run AFK RuneScape on the other quarter screen of the half, and then if I can have Windows Internet Explorer on the other quarter of the screen of the half with RuneScape and, you know, whatever, and run all that, it's all processing off one GPU. But if I had 2, then I could process one monitor with one and the other with the other, and it would divide the load in half. That was my understanding of SLI.
There's absolutely no reason you can do all those things and all at 8K with the specs that you have, and it shouldn't be an issue. The SLI benefits from only benefits from software that supports SLI. Otherwise, you'd have to like really tax your PC to get benefits out of SLI.
But really though, so like what I'm saying is completely wrong. One doesn't, because I thought I saw in a video that one can control one monitor and one can control another, and if that was true, you would be dividing the load.
I wouldn't know about separating tasks by monitors. I don't know if that works or if it doesn't.
Well, I just mean like through NVIDIA support panel. Like when I right click and go to control panel, I can choose what does what. And right now I'm choosing that one GPU runs 2 monitors. If I had 2 GPUs, I could choose that one runs one and one runs the other, and that would be dividing the load substantially. That's my understanding of it. If I'm right, I truly believe that that's a great option. The only deficit I'd run into would be cooling. If I can't keep 2 170 Fahrenheit GPUs chill, then I'm gonna have a big fucking problem.
I mean, another good option would be to just buy a PC that has 2 systems in it and go 8-way SLI in 2 systems, but that would be complete overkill, right? So that's kind of the same concept. I think I'm not sure how NVIDIA electrical panel works exactly. I've never did that myself, divided it. And if it does work, then and that is your goal, to like maximize each monitor's software and how well it's and how much processing it's receiving, then yeah, if you don't mind like what is it called, wattage waste from an extra card, or like not underutilization of your second card by like 90 or 95 or 80% at all times, then go for it. I just don't think that there's a purpose.
I just don't know that you and like I said, I'm not willing to argue because I certainly don't know vehemently, but I truly believe, based off what I understand from my motherboard manual and the YouTube videos I've watched, that you truly can separate the power of the motherboard. So one does what you tell it and one does what you tell it, and if you're telling it to work on separate tasks, both use full power on separate tasks. I mean, do you mean
like for uploading videos? I mean, I need it to be applicable for it to make sense to me.
well,
Otherwise,
so one
wasting
GPU can be running 100% of its power on Impractical Jokers at 4K, and one can be running 100% power on my OBS Streamlabs picture, my preview, and my RuneLight. And they, if they were both running at 100% power separately, that is not equivalent to one at 100% power, because that's simply, you know.
Yeah.
And that's my
that makes
understanding
sense
of
to
it,
me.
you know. And so
Yeah, if that's how it works, then yeah, that would be a good way to use it for. Then for me, it wouldn't be practical.
I just
for
don't.
me, because
Well, I just mean, so like I have a
throttling at
2070 Super. What do you have for a GPU?
2080 Super. I actually sent you my list. In
Okay,
DMs.
yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have Discord open. I've got I'm streaming us to Twitch and 3 different servers. I've got my RuneLight open. You and me talking on Zoom is full screen. But
No problem. No.
and yeah, I've been contemplating more monitors too. So that's where it comes in. If I had dual SLI, I could be running 6 monitors.
Yeah,
and it truly would be 3 on 3, even if the power was separated however I choose. I only have 3 slots. I have 2 HDMI's and 1 DisplayPort for my 2070 Super. And the only reason I didn't get a 2080 or a Titan was because I thought that as my first PC build, I should buy the 3rd best thing on the market for everything. So I bought an Intel 90, 90 whatever, and that was a pretty decent starter. It's done everything I needed perfectly. My Z390 Aorus, I don't remember how I came to that, but I truly love it. You know, to have an upgrade from this would be changing all the wiring, but the upgrade would have everything this has plus more, so it would be really simple to do. Pull it out, put a new one in, bada bing, bada boom.
Exactly.
I'm going to change all the fans out soon that you can see right here by my finger, and I'm going to put in, glowing RGB ones, because that's something that, like, this came pre-wired from Next, so I had a smart wiring case for 25 of the RGBs, and then I wired in an additional 40, so I have 75, or 40 plus, that's 65, 50. I wired in an additional 50.
Dang.
But I just wanted a big rainbow thing. When I was a kid, I saw someone who had a computer like this and built it. And it had rainbow fans and rainbow this and rainbow that. And it made me so happy. I was like, that's so cool. You're such a badass. And he was like 50.
Let's go.
And so as an adult, that's all I fucking wanted. And
oh, yeah.
I love it,
Oh, yeah, let's go.
But, yeah, no, I think I might upgrade. So if a CPU's that big of a bink swap, dude, whew, I bet the difference between an i7 and an i9 would be huge, and I would notice a CPU on click, right? Like if it's truly faster, it'll load things, a 30-second or a tenth of a second faster, whatever.
If you're an FPS gamer, you'll notice right away. Yep.
Okay, true. Okay. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. GPUs are on such short demand right now. It might be easier to just buy whatever fucking GPU I could and run SLI. Just because of how cheap it would be to do that. I don't think I'm going to get my hands on any high-end 20 series or 30 series. I'm going to have to buy some fucking 1200 bullshit. I don't even know what it is.
Bro, my card I bought directly from NVIDIA for 600, and now it's like 2,400.
Your 2080 was 600?
Yeah, from NVIDIA directly.
How long ago did you buy it, bro? February 2020.
On release.
February 2020. I bought the 2070 Super for 500, and that was brand new. And the I swear the 2080 was way more.
I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, or my memory is like bad. But like I swear it was like $600. I actually returned my 1080.
From what I recall, I bought the third best on the market. Mine was 500. The 2080 with February 2020 was 1100, and the Titan was 2000. That was my memory.
Oh, 700 apparently. 699.
699 for the 2080.
Yeah, I feel like I've bought it for like 600.
No,
I mean,
if it's only that much, I believe you did. So that's crazy.
yeah.
So how much right now is a 2070 Super?
I mean, look at the parts bit. Look at the link is showing that it's worth 2100 on Amazon. And those are practical buys because it looks for where you can actually buy it, like what is actually available.
Gigabyte GeForce 2070 Super right now. eBay is $1,300.
Yep.
Yeah, but generally it would only be 500, like I said. Yeah, that's what I have.
Jesus.
Are you running water cool or just a big ass fan?
No, just a fan. Yeah.
Really, it works fine.
Yeah, I looked at the temp differences, and it's honestly not that drastic in my opinion.
No, I'm not saying water is that much of a benefit over the fan. I just think that water looks cooler than a fan.
Oh, that shit scared the hell out of me, and I'm not really good at maintenance TPH, so I didn't want to hassle myself.
You don't have to maintenance the pH. What the fuck are you talking about?
You have to like change it every 6 months.
No, you don't.
From everything I've seen, they tell you to change the
This is
water
a
every 6
closed
months.
system, bro. My hands are on the hose right now. Full fist. These are two closed system lines that go to a radiator and go to a CPU. I'm not changing them. Like they came as they are. There's no drain port. It's a radiator and a fucking CPU. There's no holes.
They say bubbles can start building up and then causing damage to the radiator.
You know how cheap this thing was, bro? This was like a $245 radiator, and it keeps my CPU so cool, bro. My hands are on the water right now. I can feel the vibration of the water running through it, and the water is so it's so cool. It's not for this GPU is 170 degrees. I could cook a fucking egg on this GPU. It burns dust. The dust doesn't like to sit on this thing because it's so fucking hot. You know what I mean? Like GPUs burn at the temperature that you cook chicken at. You know what I mean? Like they're super hot. And my CPU.
Do you have 2 GPUs?
No, this is a GPU support bracket. It's made of plastic. It's support because my 2070 Super is a big boy, and I'm running an ATX case, so she sags a little bit on the motherboard, and I don't like her doing that.
Gotcha.
I really like my motherboard. I think that was one of the most expensive parts I bought on this. My GPU was expensive, but I really like Aoreus, man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, whatever research you did, it was good because your PC, you built the PC I would recommend anybody to buy. That's like the
I
best
appreciate
high-end.
it, man. Like honestly, if trying to buy the specs I have on Amazon is like fucking double the price that I pay for the parts. It's insane. You know, the markup for just putting it together is nuts. You know, and I'm not running any SSD outside of M.2, and I have no, HDDs at all. So I'm that's why I can have my Funko Pop and this massive Trident. You know, I have a Trident airflow. I learned you're supposed to have a diagram for airflow. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1 out and 2 up. So it's Trident with 2 vertical exports. And in my GPU never crests above 170. It's at about 168, 169. If I'm playing COD at max FPS, streaming to 3 sites against Twitch's TOS, and I'm on some whatever app listening to music, I can I don't have a problem. She's never overheated. She's never had a problem. The only problem I've ever had with this is like sometimes I'll boot her. 1 out of 40 times I'll boot her and she won't pass BIOS. She'll just spin on the Aoreus screen, and I hold the power button, she shuts off, I hit it again, and she's never, ever in my life on the second boot failed to boot. It's like that 1:40 ratio, but it still never failed, so.
I have blue screen sometimes. That's crazy. I'm blue screen watching Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, Elon, what are you doing to me? Please.
What are you doing to me?
Yeah.
No,
I feel bad. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, it's good. I was just gonna say I love PC life, man. It's so chill. Like it's a dope
Hell yeah,
community.
master
There's
race.
so many people who want to help you, and I feel like I'm educated enough to help people, which is cool. Like, I love it, bro. Do you know are you running M.2? Or are you running other stuff?
Yeah. M.2 for sure.
How many
Sick.
how many form factors for M.2 do you have in your motherboard?
I don't even know that. I don't even know that myself.
So like on my motherboard right here, do you have a vertical motherboard?
I think so. Yeah.
So on mine, this silver plate right here my finger is pointing at, that's a 28 form factor M.2. So that means the stick, the size, like the size of a shoe, is called a 28. Whatever the fuck that means, it's a 28. And then the one beneath it's like a 24 or 26, and that's you can see the top of it. It's the silver right on top of the GPU.
Okay.
And then right behind the GPU is my 24, and under the GPU is my 18. So I have 4 different holes for sticks of M.2 on this motherboard, and I only have 2 sticks in right now. I have a fucking 1 terabyte and a 1 terabyte, so I have 2 terabytes of M.2 right now, and they sell sticks in a 28 and a 26 and a 24 and in an 18, all at 2. So I could be running 8 terabytes of memory in my 4 sticks if I wanted, and that's just fucking absurd, because I'm at like, I don't know, 1,200 gigabytes or something, 1.2 terabytes, and I have everything I need. If I'm gonna get anything else, I'll be deleting things I don't want. And so the only noob error I made on my PC was I tried click dragging 400 gigabytes of files from one M.2 to the other, and all the path files got corrupted. So like if any desktop emblem that was on M.2.1 didn't work once it was on M.2, and basically that for everything. So all my software for Steam got deleted, and all the files were corrupt for a lot of shit. I have it mostly caught up now, but it's certainly
For sure. You have a lot of knowledge in this.
No, not really. I mean, outside of I spent 100 hours researching YouTube to build my PC. I mean, I had 14 different manuals, and I had to cross-reference them all because my PSU was like, you gotta plug this into this, and I was like, what the fuck is a SATA cable? And what the fuck do you what is this? And some of the shit wasn't labeled, and so I had to read through every book 3 times. And I don't know. I was super precautionary because I didn't want it to not work. And even after all my precaution, the first time I hit the power button on my PC, she didn't turn on.
Yep.
But that was
my first.
Hey, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just saying I built my first when I was 15, and it didn't boot. I had to have my in-law help me out with that.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what it was. I made it boot 30 seconds later. So when I was building it, the motherboard manual told me to plug in the 24-pin connector to the PSU, but it also had a 6-pin connector next to a 24 that looked like it should have been plugged in, but it didn't tell me to, so I didn't. And so like it was as soon as I hit that button, nothing happened. I was like, fuck, and I went outside and smoked a cigarette back when I smoked cigarettes, and I was like, I'm fucking best, and fucking watching YouTube videos like, if it didn't boot, your life is dead. If you didn't pre-check every part during building it, your life is dead. And I was like, I hate myself. I just wasted fucking $2,500 on parts. I'm fucking retarded. And then I was like, I didn't plug in that 6-pin connector on my fucking power supply unit because the motherboard didn't say to. I probably should do that. And I went down there, ripped off the little bracket on the back down here, and fucking ripped the PSU out and fucking plugged it in and hit the power button, and she turned on, and I was like, woo! And I fucking put the PSU back in and screwed it up. But dude, I was super, super happy, man. And it went cool. The BIOS recognized almost everything. I had to fuck with a few things in the BIOS that weren't being recognized. I don't think my M.2 got recognized. I had to tell it to recognize it or something. But outside of that, I had a great run and just watched 30 different versions of Linus Tech Tips, and the other guy who's got a shaved head and glasses and talks a lot, and I learned everything I needed to. And funny enough though, I didn't have a graphics card fucking driver for a year and a half after I built it. it didn't matter though, because my chipset had a pre-based one that was new enough. Like my GPU was made a year before my motherboard, and so my motherboard
Gotcha.
came with an update from a year after the GPU was made. I mean,
Mm,
the GPU was made, so it didn't
gotcha,
matter.
gotcha.
The driver that was on my chipset was already good enough that even though I didn't have the newest GPU driver, I never realized it was a problem playing any game ever. It was great detail. And then one day I loaded up RS3 and it was like, your drivers are out of date. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I looked and I was like, oh shit, I don't even have a GPU driver. and now I have one. But yeah, and that was the cool thing about RS3 is it's got such a demand for graphics that it really lets you know that, you know, your shit's not up to date. Because I had a shitty
Wow.
$300 laptop and RS3 did not go well on it.
Oh man, you were probably lucky that you didn't have a graphics driver, because they love updating the drivers and messing things up all the time. The screens and crashes and all this garbage.
Yeah, that may be a thing. But the PC world's the shit, man. I love it, you know, and I might even, you know, do what, you know, like what you said. I might build a PC, put it under my desk, get 2 more monitors, put them above my monitors, and then have 2 PCs and just have to start them both and run separate programs, and one will be on YouTube and one will be on a different thing as opposed to one running
That's
2
my
programs.
recommendation.
You know, because differentiating is really the key. Like if I could be, you know, you don't even have to stream, but like, yeah, like you said, if I ran the HDMI from the monitor of computer A to the capture card, but the output from the capture card to PC 2, then all the resources that run the game have nothing to do with the output of the video that I'm streaming, and that's fucking brilliant. So you're definitely right there. That's a really good fucking idea.
You know what the future of streaming is, man?
Being in a room like the movie Gamer and just it's like 3D and everything you do is
Oh,
with your hands with no haptic sensors. It just knows where you are.
ooh,
You know what I
ooh,
mean?
hell yeah, hell yeah. That's a part of it. It's probably
No,
better. That's probably better than what I was thinking.
no, but still, no. What were you gonna say?
There was this one IRL streamer. She had a drone flying around capturing her body, and it was like almost Grand Theft Auto, because behind her, just following her as she walked.
That's really funny.
And it was like live streaming from the drone. That's so cool.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's this one guy called what's his name? Max Ryder, or I forget his fucking name, but he's on Facebook and he's this super nasty motorcycle dude, and he's got a drone that follows his motorcycle even up to like
Ooh.
160 miles an hour. Fucking
Holy
like
shit.
booking it. You know, he probably does 200 a lot, and you know maybe it keeps up, but like he's got it's fucking insane, bro. He's got this tripod mounted on the back of his fucking motorcycle, and the camera is a 360-degree capture everything, and it never leaves like 10 feet from the sensor. So he doesn't control it. It just follows the sensor. And the sensor's in the back of the bike, and he's fucking fucking wheelie past a Ferrari. Whoom, fucking, you know what I mean? And he lives out in the middle of the desert, so which tons of people race, and it's, you know, not safe to race, but simply more applicable to do so. And it's fucking exhilarating to watch.
Damn.
Yeah. Do you have any like dangerous physical hobbies? I mean, I was a dirt bike rider, and I break ankles on skateboards every year. It's super fun.
Can't say I do. I mean, when I was 15, I did parkour. I explored a bunch of abandoned places.
I did a bunch of parkour, bro. Parkour is wicked fun.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
you learn your body. Like, I'll be at work and I'll be walking by a stack of pallets, and I'm like fucking 6 pallets left,
Okay, dude.
right, got it, jump, and I'll fucking land on them, jump off, and someone will be like, what the fuck you just doing? I was like, I didn't know if I could jump that high. Just checking. You know what I mean? They're like, "Well, you fucking retarded." You know?
I think people are weird who judge people who like to be active. That's one of my biggest fears in life. Like, one of the two is not losing my agility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I start losing my agility, I'm fucking becoming a martial art master and opening a fucking studio if I have to. Like, I am not letting myself get that low where I can't like jump or sprint out of nowhere
Yeah.
to full speed. Like, that'll just that would suck. That's
Yeah.
not something I'm looking forward to.
No, for sure. I can relate to that, you know. I'm really proud of my hand-eye coordination. You know, even my daughter's really on key with her hand-eye coordination, and I have to think that to some degree, I'm really lucky. You know what I mean? But yeah, how's WoW going?
I'm not sure. They shut down the auction house because of the new patch coming out. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't like how it's a rat race. Like everyone feels pressure to do things as fast as possible because they'll be behind. And remember the thing I said about earlier, how I got banned in RuneScape because of the whole vegan and cannibal, whatever, meat eating thing, whatever. It's like, yeah, I've even been kicked from guilds in WoW, so I have like an impossible time to find guilds, and streaming doesn't help because people like Photoshop shit and send to my guild leaders and they kick me out, or like, yes, that makes it even harder to like stay in a guild so I can actually progress in this game. Because you need to be in a guild and play with people to do certain things. Like you can't do max level content by yourself.
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, there's been a lot of facets. Like the meta of Destiny year 2 and year 1 was like, yeah, go play fucking the Taken King raid, and there's 1 in 100th rate of you getting the max ghost out of his chest, and the dude who's on his first run will get the best item, and the dude who's done it 500 times doesn't have it yet. So fuck yourself. You know, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just such a diminishing return. I was like, oh my god, you know, it's
Damn.
unfriendly. No, it was truly unfriendly factors, and then to spite me, I stopped playing for 6 months, and when I came back, I came back right after Valentine's Day because that was when my daughter was born, and on Valentine's Day they had an event where they apologized for the poor RNG of the ghosts in that specific chest, and they gave everyone the max ghost, and I was like, you fucking bastard. You know what I mean? Like, what are you fucking ridiculous. But no, there's so many games that I want to play and do and have fun with, and the coolest thing is that like RuneScape's a thing that if I hop on once a day, 6 days a week, it takes me 5 minutes, and the 7th day I gotta do my farming, so maybe it takes 20 minutes. But outside of that, dude, I'm gonna get max skills in RuneScape over the next 10 years, and it's just such a fun game. Like I'm never gonna, I'm never mad at the fact that I can always hop into it. And lately, it's just the only game I want to play. Every other game requires a much more of a commitment to get anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's no pressure in RuneScape.
no, I can
Ever.
hop in and fucking just do whatever I want. I don't want to cut wood, I'll go fish. I don't want to fish, I'll
Hell
go
yeah.
make runes. I don't want to make runes, I'll go kill demons. I don't want to kill demons. It's like unlimited possibilities, and that's what I love. I haven't done quests for a fucking super long time, and in my head I'm starting to be mad at myself for not doing quests, so I'm going to get all my skills, I think, to the point where you can Google on old school RuneScape Wikipedia what the max skills you need for every quest in the game are, and I think my goal is to get all of those skills, and then once I have all of those skills, I'll get all of the quests done in the whole game, then go through and do all of the achievement diaries in the whole game, and I'm working on getting my Inferno cape, but I got to get max defense and max range to help me with that. Plus, I got to get $1.1 billion to buy the best bow in the game. And, you know what I mean? I'm at like fucking 200 mil net value right now. So I'm a sixth of the way there, minus the fact that once I have the bow, I still need a full suit of armor. So I need like 1.3 billion to actually do anything.
Oh, damn.
So. But that's one reason I'm doing wood cutting. I think I'm going to make a fuckload of money. Like, I'm trying to max fire making and wood cutting, because fire making is a stat that will cost me a lot of money to max. But if I'm already training wood cutting, I can just burn the logs I'm cutting. And so my wood cutting doesn't go up as fast as it could, but I'm training 2 stats at once. And I'm, it's super easy. And the one cool thing is in RS3, there's no woodcutting guild. That doesn't exist. But in old school RuneScape, they made this as part of a new island they released. And so there's actually a woodcutting guild in old school RuneScape. So a woodcutting guild does not exist in RuneScape 3, which is actually like one of the huge differences between the stat and that game.
Really?
Most of the game runs parallel. What's really cool is they call like old school RuneScape the 5th century, and then when you can beat all of the quests that are in old school RuneScape in RS3, and then they have what's called the 6th century, which you can even start before you've beaten all the old ones. But I think what would make me really happy is to beat all of the old school ones on RS3, and then start beating the new ones on RS3, because there's no new ones on old school. There'll never be new quests on old school. There's just and there's a fucking lot. I have 169 quest points on old school, and I'm probably only the fucking 2/5 of the way there.
Yeah, it's a big time commitment. I'm surprised to hear you say that you have like 15,000 in COD and like you play RuneScape, and then say like you value time, because that shit is very rewarding, but like it does take time.
Yeah, RuneScape though, like I said, I played it for long enough. I now have enough money to buy the best prayer gear, and so I truly can AFK for like 1 click per 7 minutes. And so that's like, I'm at work driving a forklift, which is my current job. I drop a box off every 3 minutes or less. So as long as once every 2 boxes I tap 3 times on my iPhone to fill up prayer, I can gain 3 million experience in any stat I want all day. That's AFK, well, at least combat stats. And those are the tedious ones. I miss all the drops that happen, but who gives a fuck? I get the XP. So
Yeah, still getting XP.
And that's the difference too. iPhone only has old school RuneScape mobile. Android has RuneScape 3 and old school mobile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe they don't have old school, but they at least have RS3. I'm not sure about them having old school, but they do have RS3, and so that's a big deficit. I'm only an iPhone guy. I have an Apple Watch, and I have actually 2 iPhones. I can show you right now on camera. My broken one that I switched from, and then my current one. They're the same. There's 2 iPhone 10s, the smashed one and the non-smashed one. And the only reason I keep the old smashed one around and I could show it to you is because I have to keep charging it, because I broke the top right of a screen, and the only button you need to hit to transfer the authenticators from Google is the top right of the screen. And I can't transfer it. So every time I have to do a Discord authenticator or a RuneScape authenticator, I have to fucking pull out my old iPhone. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the phone screen fixed for whatever, $200, and I'm going to swap all my authenticators, and then I'm going to fucking get rid of the iPhone. I'll sell it for hopefully the $200 that I fucking spent to fix the screen. I'll at least break even.
Yeah.
But RuneScape makes me really happy. It's just a really fun game. It makes me happy to play. That's one thing I can say. So like I could care less if other people like it. It makes me really jolly to play. And the fact that RuneLite exists makes me even double jolly, because like RuneLite just makes RuneScape better. Like it gives me time circles on all these trees. So it's like, you know what I mean? It tells me when items will respawn as I'm using them. If I'm at a mine and there's 100 rocks, as I cut them, it'll tell me how long till they RNG spat back.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's something that exists in general. If I knew it took 10 seconds, I could just count to 10. But RuneLite puts an actual pie chart that runs with a current circle and tells you exactly how long till boop, it pops back up. And it's like, that's fucking awesome, and it does it for everything. Like since I've logged on and been talking to you, I've gained 50,000 experience, 57,000 experience in trees, 63,000 experience in fucking wood. I went to teleport somewhere, so I gained 35 experience in magic, and I just got a random event for a genie, so I have 410 experience in rune crafting. So like, you know what I mean? And then I wouldn't have been able to tell you all that if it wasn't for RuneLite keeping a log of all the data that exists as I play every instance. And it's really cool. And if I have a question about how much an item costs, there's just a button on the side of the screen. Click, and I can click it, and it searches the database that I could teleport to the bank, or the Grand Exchange rather, and ask them how much this item costs. Or I could right-click the side of RuneLite, and it will just tell me what the Grand Exchange has. And it's like, for that asset, RuneLite's allowed by Jagex too. They allow it because it doesn't let you cheat the game, and they want people to play it. And RuneLite lets you play it at a higher level. It tells you a lot more, Like in the tiers of Gothics, the amount of water you catch is how much experience you get. And without RuneLite, you don't know how long water lasts. But with RuneLite, you know exactly down to a millisecond how long water lasts. And so it's like, as far as, it's the same exact fucking game. Difference is your game doesn't show you the RNG respawn of every item. My game does. Your game doesn't have an outsourced, market to show you everything that you could learn in-game, but it shows you out of game while you're in-game. I don't know. Just it's super fucking dope.
Yeah, I think there's some add-ons that facilitate that stuff in WoW, but yeah, I wish I had that when I was playing RuneScape and utilized it like back when I was 10, 11, 12.
For real. I played in
That'd been cool.
elementary school. It's insane. Cool. Well, I mean, we definitely have fucking just about 2 hours of time. Do you want to plug anything before the end of this?
I mean, if you want to check me out, I'm Ethereal Marksman on almost everything. I don't have an Instagram though, and I don't have a TikTok, but everywhere else it's Ethereal Marksman. If you want to check me out, I stream on Twitch. That's probably the best place to catch me.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, and this will be video on YouTube, video and audio on YouTube, and audio solely on Podbean and iTunes. So thank you for everyone who listened, and have a great night.